Hey, you guys. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to our channel. It is Marriage in a Minute with Karim and Michelle. Okay, just Karim and Michelle. I like adding the Michelle. But anyway, we are so grateful. As you can see, we are wearing shirts from Isa.
Take your time.
No joke.
No joke. That's Colas.
Big up to
Yes.
Colas, and not just him, but the Colas family, because he reached out and he told you all to get over here, and you guys have been trickling in. So welcome to the Colas folks. You've given him such a big boost, and we're so grateful now that you're giving us a big boost. So we are so grateful. You have no idea. We're so grateful. We're thankful that you guys have been, like I said, trickling over. We're hoping for a big pushover, but we'll take it. Yeah. We'll earn your respect, and we will earn your friendship and everything else, and your thumbs up and your comments. We're working on our channel so we can earn you guys. So we're grateful for the ones that just came over, but for you guys, we're hoping that you will give us that push, give us that strength, and push us over and keep us going. So he wants to say something.
Yeah, I just want to add to that. Marriage in a Minute is a channel that we have that we want to reach as many married couples as possible.
And people who are getting married.
Right, people will get married. People are already married.
And if you just got divorced,
if you got a divorce,
and if you're married and you want to comment on something that we've said to either correct us or push us in the right direction or challenge what we're saying, hey, we welcome it respectfully. We really do.
And what I was about to say is, the more subscription we get, the more people who watch our videos, the more marriages we reach. So you guys we really appreciate you guys who have subscribed to our channel. We want you to share our channel, share our videos, so that other couples can come in and also get the same, encouragement. And we're hoping that we're encouraging people, because that's our goal, for marriages to be better. Every marriage can be better. No matter where you are right now, your marriage can be better. So all you gotta do is take your time.
All right, so we decided to wear our shirts that we just bought last Saturday when Colas was here, just out of respect for him and the family and everybody else. And if you guys don't know about, if you're with us and you don't know about Colas TV, please, Colas Smith TV, go over and subscribe. And we also met Bella. Go over to Bella TV as
well. Bella Vlog. BELLA Vlog.
Yeah.
Bella Vlog.
Yeah, so just go over. And I think somebody else that we met that actually subscribed to our channel as well was Lala Girl.
Lala Girl.
Yeah, go over to her channel and just show her. We're just trying to support each other, right? And let me get this out the way. Don't talk about my Christmas tree.
It's January. What is today? January.
It's only the 8th.
8th.
I am not. You've got to be in the right frame of mind to take the Christmas tree down, and I have not gotten there yet. So. I'm preparing for a lot. Our church is about to go through a 21-day fast. So that's really been my mind and my prayers. So this tree, it could be there until you'll probably see for the next 4 months. No, I'm kidding. We're not.
So listen, we're going all over the place. We're going to also do videos in the streets, talking to married couples, praying for married couples. Yeah. We've been in the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Colombia coming up soon. So we're going to have, videos called Marriage in the Street, but by Marriage in a Minute. So
if you see us out there, just asking to say what's your idea, what's your take, please be sure to just chat with us. We won't take up a lot of your time.
Yeah, and we welcome your comments, questions, comments.
Not the bad ones. If you've got bad stuff about him, it's okay. Good ones come right here, all right? But anyway, today what we wanted to hit you guys with, we wanted to talk about the words and not just words, but how those words are spoken. Yeah. And just kind of dive down in the Bible a little bit and kind of unpack to see some encouraging words. Because like my husband said before, we try to encourage marriages. There's no marriage nothing can be going on in your marriage that bad that you can't sit and talk it out. I don't know what the resolution will be, but you've got to be able to talk it out and talk things through if you really expect good results. You can't avoid certain things. And here on Marriage in a Minute, we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff, unpacking stuff, and we want to hear from you guys. So make this interactive. One Bible verse, we like to start with Bible verse sometimes. Proverbs 16:24, gracious words are honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones.
I like the sweet to the soul part. Like honeycomb.
See, and that's the thing. You're not going to always hear great things in the marriage, because we've got to learn how to be honest with each other. But I think it's how, and I know you guys have heard this before, it's not what you say, but it really is how you say it.
Yeah.
Right?
So speaking it in love. And, you know, Michelle and I were talking earlier, and we're not going to get it perfect all the time, but that's the time you have to say, you know, I'm sorry, again, in love. Just to let you think about, something to think about. Do you know that, and this is when I heard this, I was like, it's so profound. Your tone can cause your spouse to become tone deaf. Think about that.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Your tone can cause your spouse to be tone deaf.
Usually I come up with the good sayings.
Yeah, she usually does.
I'm clever like that, but that one was really good. That's true, because if you keep saying things to someone in a certain kind of way, they're just going to tune you out and
you don't want
that's not
that.
what you want.
You want to be able to communicate with your spouse, even if it's something that you feel like it's something that you need to be said. If you say it in a certain kind of tone that's not loving, it's just gonna probably go through one ear to the other ear. Yeah. You know,
and they're not gonna receive you well.
Right. You don't want them to become tone deaf.
Yeah.
So
it's how you do things. And another Bible verse that we have, and we were, as we were preparing, we were just looking in the book of Proverbs, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Proverbs 12:18, reckless words pierce like a sword. And when you say things with, he's always fixing his hat, so I'm going to fix mine too. You guys, 24 years of marriage and about maybe 30 years together. So sometimes we're so quirky, like we could be in the middle of something so awesome and I'll just get silly because that's who I am.
Let me tell you guys a little thing. So years upon years ago, of that 24 years,
it's how you say
we would not be laughing like this.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. We weren't in a good place.
Yeah, so...
And that's God.
Yes. Allow the Lord to work through you and your spouse. Don't give up and don't just, you know...
We used to say things with piercing like a sword.
Yeah. So,
and who was that benefit? Did that benefit you or me? No.
It doesn't benefit anybody. It doesn't benefit the marriage. Yeah. You know, all it does is tear down and not build up. So, you know, practicing is the key. You know, again, it takes time. So, we had an interview on TBN. It's a TV station years ago. And I remember Michelle said something that she used to say at one time. Okay, that's a bad habit. Michelle used to say, whatever.
Oh, yes. That used to be my go-to. Yeah. Ladies. Let me talk to the ladies for a little bit.
Okay, go ahead. Talk to the ladies.
Ladies, girls.
I will talk to the men afterwards.
Yeah, ladies. Whatever used to be my go-to word. No matter what, like we're having a little bit of time, and I was just, whatever. That used to be, I did not learn that in Port Antonio. I was born in Port Antonio. I did not learn that in Port Antonio. I don't know what words we used to say back then, but that used to be my go-to, because I don't cuss, you know, but that used to be my go-to word, like, man, whatever.
And what was my word, if you remember? Sometimes it still is. But actually, you know what? It's not cho. And sometimes I still say
that's my word, my cho. Cho. That's my go-to word. Don't take my word. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and I was just like, you know what? I need to bring that word back, because I say that every day, because you know, like you don't cuss, so you got to find that word. Be like cho, you know.
All right. Anyway. So here's a little skit. And look at the difference between this, and that's what we're talking about with speaking in a loving tone and loving.
You always have to take your time. Isa. Just kidding. Keep going.
But anyway, yeah, so there's a difference between I'm not perfect. As opposed to saying, remember, I'm not perfect. And that's something that I say to Michelle all the time. And I'll say it in the heat of the moment, so again.
Whatever.
Right.
You see how that works?
Yeah. So it's not only the tone, it's the timing of when you say it. So if you're in the heat of the argument, because conflict is going to happen, if you're in the heat of it and you say certain words with a certain tone, it's almost like it says words can burn it all down. So it's just going to tear down everything.
Burn it down.
Burn it down, right? So what we're trying to encourage is take your time.
Yeah.
Think before you speak.
Why? Because if you think about it, once you say that word out of your mouth, it is gone. Yeah. You will never be able to get it back. And of course, there's reconciliation and you talk it over. But when you pierce your spouse, when you pierce your partner, when you tear them down, you're constantly working to build up. So you're never really enjoying each other because there's always a conflict of, and then not only that, the expectation is the worst part of it because you're always thinking you're not free in your mind because you're thinking in your mind, if you say this or if you do this, they're going to tear you down.
Yeah.
So it's always living with that expectation, like I am never going to be built up or, like you don't have to speak in a certain kind of way for your spouse to get what, get you or whatever. Yeah. And the thing about it is like now, but thinking back years ago, we used to push each other buttons with how we say things because I knew exactly how he would react. He knew how I would react, but we kept doing it anyway. Yeah. And, you think that time will become that big teacher where you're just like, man, now, but really, honestly, I think it's just God getting into your space and God getting into your heart. And for me, it was about just reading God's word and learning some of these words from the Bible that we just talked about how gracious your words are, like honeycomb, sweet to the soul, it's healing to the bone. Yeah. So you have to learn how to, and here's a Bible verse that really, really helped me along is, I think I think it's in John. I don't remember exactly where it is, but it says, Jesus comes in his truth and his grace, right? So when you speak grace without truth, it can be hypocritical. But when you speak truth without grace, it can be brutal. So you have to learn how to manage those two together, grace and truth, and speak it that way to your spouse. Because if you think about it, right, what did the Bible say? Bone of my bone. Is that what Adam said, right? Flesh of my flesh.
Bone of my bone.
Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, right? And the thing about it is, if you're hurting your spouse with the words that you use, then they're so detached from you that really they're not bone of your bone and flesh of your flesh. Because if you're hurting your spouse, you really hurt yourself. And if you're not feeling that hurt, then that's where you've got to check, like, where are we in our marriage?
Knowing these verses is great.
Yeah.
Right? But putting them to practice is power.
Yeah.
Knowing the verses is really great.
Yeah.
It's good to know the verses, but putting them into power is life, so to speak, in your marriage. So, for example, try this. A lot of times when we have a conflict, right? Michelle is saying something to me and I'm thinking defensively right away. I don't listen to her. Right. I don't listen.
Emotionally hearing.
Yeah. There's a difference between hearing and listening. I'm hearing, but I'm not listening because I'm thinking about what I want to say back. Yeah. And that's when usually you say something that is not loving because you're trying to,
formulate an answer,
and defend,
a response. Yeah.
So try this. Silence. Try silence for a while. If your spouse is saying something to you, whether it's something encouraging or something that she's not feeling or he's not feeling good about you, listen and just keep silent first. Yeah. And then when your spouse is done, hopefully they finish.
That's so wrong. That sounds like something that I would say. That is so wrong. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
After we finish this tape, we gonna argue now. Because what you mean I said?
But yeah, you'll get your chance to speak.
Yeah.
But it gives you a chance now to speak also in love. You know, today I was in the backyard and Michelle was out there with me, and you know, the yard is not cleaned up. You know, a certain part of the yard.
And I was roasting breadfruit.
She was roasting breadfruit and it was a nice vibe, atmosphere.
Weather is
and
cool,
it was
sunny,
nice, right?
beautiful out.
Yeah, and she said, you know, I forgot exactly what she said about I could have, you know, cleared up a certain part of the yard, and I decided to just not say nothing because it came to me to say, why are you telling me this now when I can't do it now? Because I couldn't have done it at the time, but that could have spurred a bigger argument.
Breadfruit throwing with fire.
Right? So I just decided to just listen to her, and after a while, when she was done, I actually went and cleared up some of it.
Yeah.
You know,
and that touched my heart so much, but I didn't say it in a bad way.
Right.
I really wanted to.
Yeah.
So it was bad.
Yeah.
But I think I had just said, man, I wish you would help me with the back, because it's like my little oasis. I love my backyard.
Yeah.
And when it's not clean and neat, but I wasn't mad about it. Again, it's just the way your tone, you don't want someone to become your tone deaf.
Yeah.
And then you think about it, you know, and I always use this analogy where I'm like, so when you go to work and you're talking with your boss, you don't use a certain tone. You don't say things a certain way to your boss.
You want to.
You
but you control it.
Yeah, because you'd be home for good, right? So now you want to get paid. That's the only tangible evidence that you've been at work for 2 weeks. You get paid. So, but your home, your castle, is so much more important than money, and that's what we've got to take care of more. Like then sometimes you'll see your spouse out and about, work, church, whatever, and they're treating other people so well, but then in your mind you're like, what a hypocrite. You talk to me so badly at home, but when you go out of the house, you're talking to other people in a better way. So I think we've just got to check ourselves and not take each other for granted how we speak to one another.
Yeah.
You know?
Proverbs 18:21 spells
That's
what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
There's life
and
death is in the power of the tongue. Notice the word power.
Yeah.
So that means you have the power to either speak life
or
speak death, meaning you could speak to build up your spouse or speak to tear down your spouse. You have the power.
Yeah.
God gives you that, right? The enemy, and that's the part, you have to have a recognition of who is behind it all.
Yeah.
The enemy I call it enemy recognition. The enemy wants you to not speak to your spouse in a loving way. The enemy wants you to have a bad tone.
No harmony in the home,
right?
No peace.
Because he wants to tear down your marriage,
yeah.
right? So it's really not you, if you think about it technically, you're just giving into the enemy. So it's something that you have to be aware of. And over time, when you practice it, you know, you read the Bible and you see these verses and you say, I'm going to put this into practice. You're going to fail once in a while, but, you know, get up and go again, you know, and after a while, you're going to realize, you know what, I'm not going to please the enemy. I want to please God, because when God is pleased, your marriage is well. And that's the bottom line. You're a team. You don't want to fight against each other. You want to fight together. All right?
Right.
So that's what we're encouraging. So one more verse. Proverbs 15:23. How good is a timely word. So again, it's not only the tone. It's also when you say what you say.
Yeah, when you say, like if you're in the middle, I think one of our big arguments, I could just see you guys right now is saying, I get it. Truth, because we weren't there at one point, right? I remember one.
And we're still learning.
Yeah, we're still learning. And he's still learning.
I'm still learning.
No, but I remember at one time when we used to argue, it was the words that we were saying. It wasn't even about how we were saying, but it's when we were choosing to use certain words, and those words were like weapon, where you always do this, or you never, I'm always. Those words too are words that could just grease to the fire to make a bigger blaze when it might not have been that badly. And then sometimes even what happens is because of how things are spoken, you become lost into how something was spoken instead of talking about the issue that you need to talk about in the first place.
So the conversation takes a turn from the root
reason of the issue.
Yeah.
Now it's playing into how things were said.
Yeah.
So now you find that you're just like
fighting about
how it was said, and the house is still on fire. Right.
And guess who loses?
You do.
Both of you.
Yeah.
Who wins? The enemy.
Yeah.
So we have the power to change that. Your marriage is sacred. Your marriage is something that, remember when you first got married and you used to date and you used to, you're both goodwill people coming into the marriage. You have good intentions, but the enemy is there trying to break you apart with words that are not loving. Remember what the Bible says love is. It's patient, it's kind. So kind words are what you want to speak, as much as you can. And the timing is when it's right.
Yeah. And how about the fact that this has nothing to do with economic status? Because you could be poor, have very little, but the relationship between you and your spouse is so good and pleasant and lack chaos and peaceful and filled with harmony and just sweet, because you look around and the little you have, you're so grateful for each other. You're grateful for just how things are spoken into your home versus having, and I'm not saying there's no comparison. I'm not saying, if you've got a 6-bedroom home, there's fighting there. I'm just saying I'd rather be in 1 or 2 rooms with peace than having much, right? Having much with total chaos and fighting and arguments. So I think one of the things you can, one of the biggest takeaways, this is, like my husband said, this is the person that you've spent hours getting ready for, hours preparing to get married, hours, years wanting a family, wanting someone to be your companion, right? So when you have your companion, it is not to take them for granted or take advantage of them. It is to allow each other to enhance each other, to live with one another in harmony. But there's a price to pay for that harmony. Sometimes you can't say what you feel just at that right moment. So a lot of it is even sacrificing and saying, you know what? Not gonna say that today.
Yeah.
Because
and if you find yourself starting to say, catch yourself.
Yeah.
You can always say, oh, I'm sorry. Catch yourself.
Yeah.
Because if God knows that there's going to be moments like those, or else He wouldn't give us these verses. Put it that way.
Yeah.
So.
And sometimes, right? I've been at church where, and I learned this at church where, someone taught me this, and I'm sure you guys know. It's better to, if you smell someone's breath, right? You're at church, work, I don't care.
Where is she going with this?
So if you smell somebody's breath at church or work, right? The best thing to do and most encouraging, you take out a gum and you eat one and go, hey, would you like one? Now, if they say, no, we got a problem, you got to throw it at them. But it's better, instead of saying your breath stinks, right? It's nicer to just open a packet, put one in your mouth and just say, hey, would you like to have a piece of gum? Yeah. And if they say they don't chew gum, you'll be like, stay there. I got a Tic Tac for you.
So in essence, if you're saying that to your spouse, instead of saying your breath stinks, just give it a gum.
It's how I would never say, right. So I wouldn't say to my spouse, and that's the thing, if you wouldn't say it outside, why bring that junk into your home? Yeah. So you've got to learn, we have to learn how to treat each other well, right? There's this saying that charity begins at home. Practice on each other. Don't just be so ready to be so harsh with one another. I don't want to, if I smell his breath, you know, like I joke around because I joke around 90% of the time, and I joke around and go, whoa,
Guess what?
you know,
She can do that now
now.
because it depends on the temperature of your marriage.
Right.
You know,
Ooh, that's good. That's good. That's
it
good.
depends on the temperature of your marriage because
Yeah.
I know that she's just Michelle is very
Messing around.
Michelle is very what's the word?
Jovial.
She's an extrovert. I'm an introvert, so I know her. But there's a certain time in your marriage that you probably are going through.
Timing is everything.
You know, so you have to
Timing,
know.
yeah.
Don't push the buttons
That
if you
you're
know
not
it's gonna
ready
exactly
to get that explosion, right?
Yeah. She's a talker. I'm a writer. I write and she speaks. So that's why I you know I need her.
I need him. I need him to write.
But yeah. So
But
you know,
we're wrapping.
we are wrapping up, but I hope you guys are encouraged by this video.
Yes.
You know, take it light, take your time.
Isa.
You will be well. But just want to once again give up a big up to Colas and the team
And the
because you
team.
guys really, really are doing a
And
great
everybody
thing.
else who just started trickling over here. We're not just doing this. We've been involved with marriage for a very long time, not our own, but just even in our church, we want to see marriages. Let me tell you guys, the divorce rate in the church is as high as in the world. Yeah. So whether you're a Christian or you're not a Christian, this applies to everyone. This applies to everyone. Your marriage is super important. Your home needs to feel like a castle. Your home needs to be a safe haven. Your home is where your children are getting their legacy. This is what they are going to do. So it matters how you speak with each other in the home, because your kids will go out and think that's a good tone. That's how my mom talks to my dad, or my dad talks to my mom. So the legacy of what you're leaving with your kids, it really matters. It's not just about you. So we just want to encourage you.
Yeah, this video is not to point fingers, it's to encourage, because you know, we have been there and we understand, and we have, you know, gone through stuff, so we know it can be better. So well, anyway,
we are at the end.
Check out
Marriage in a Minute.
Marriage in a Minute. If you haven't subscribed as yet,
please
subscribe, share the video, make a comment about even this video on any of our videos. You know, we'll respond. But also check out our website, www.marriagevantagepoint.com. MVP, you're the MVP of your marriage. Marriagevantagepoint.com. All right, guys. God bless you guys.
Take care.